Hello everyone, we're back again for another video. Now this time we have a guest who's on the phone at the moment. His name is Clint. Now Clint got some of the documents from me, and one of them was the copyright. And as luck would have it, he had a chance to put it into action just the other day. So with that, Clint, maybe you can tell the people the history of what happened this other day, and you know, just tell your story.
Sure. Well, I was driving along on a street and noticed that I was being followed by a cop. And this cop pursued me for a distance of about 3 blocks or so, and then flashed his lights. And when he flashed his lights, I of course pulled over on the side of the road. And he came to the passenger side of the window and asked for my driver's license and insurance verification. And I told him I didn't have a driver's license. And he says, well, then how are you driving? And I said, I'm not driving. I'm traveling. And he says, you're traveling? I said, yes. Driving, according to Black's Law Dictionary, means to conduct commerce. And I'm not conducting commerce at the moment. He says, oh, well, so you're saying you don't have a driver's license or any identification? I said, not with me.
He's on the pool.
And he says, okay, well, do you have any identification? And I said, yes, it's in the back seat. At that time, I had the blue folder with the copyright notice in the back seat. And he says, okay, well, just grab the folder and nothing else. So I reached back in the back seat, grabbed the folder, pulled out the copyright notice, and gave it to him. And he goes, what's this? I said, it's a copyright notice. And he says, there's no picture on this. I said, no, but there's names and addresses and everything. My identification is on that copyright notice. So he takes it, looks at it, comes back, starts to lean on my car, and I tell him, please don't lean on my private property, sir. So he backs off, and he asks, well, is this the only identification you have? I said, yes. So he takes it, and at that time, another officer pulls up behind the first officer. And he pulls up in his car, gets out, asks what the problem is. And he says, well, I can't, he won't roll his window down more than an inch, so I can't see inside the back of his car. And he gave me this copyright notice. He won't let me touch his private property. And then he started walking off and then reading out loud the copyright notice. After about 15 minutes or so, he comes back and says, is everything okay? I said, yes, everything's fine. And he says, okay, well, you know, you need a driver's license. We don't know who you are. I didn't say anything. I just remained silent. And he says, okay, well, have a nice day. And gave me back the copyright notice.
Right, and as we can see, you did the right thing by not opening your window more than an inch or so.
Yes, because it seemed like he wanted to look around inside my car. And I've heard stories of cops searching other people's cars when they roll their windows down more than an inch. And sometimes they find things, and
right.
So.
And this also lets them understand that you're not consenting to what they're doing.
Right. And I wasn't consenting to the officer leaning against my car. I wasn't consenting to him wanting to search my vehicle. And that's exactly what he mentioned to the other officer as he showed up.
Right. So from the time they got your copyright notice, you saw them looking at it, right? Were both officers looking at it?
Yes, I believe both officers looked at it and went over the contents of the copyright notice. And I don't know exactly what they decided or what they didn't decide. I just know that when I drove off, that second officer that pulled up, he looked like a sort of like a chief. I don't know if he was chief of police or not.
Well, maybe a sergeant, maybe, you think?
I'm sorry?
You knew he was superior to the other guy.
Yes, he seemed, he acted really a little bit more...
knowledgeable.
Knowledgeable, yes.
Yeah.
And when I drove off, he had this look on his face like he was just dumbfounded, like the deer in the headlights.
Right.
Kind of look.
Now let me ask you, as you found out you were being pulled over, if you hadn't had this copyright notice and had all of this in your brain before that happened, do you think that you would have been extremely intimidated or really worried about what was going to happen? Because as we all know, a simple traffic stop can sometimes cost you $300 or $400.
Yeah, I felt that if I hadn't had that copyright notice, things probably would have turned out differently, and I probably would have been issued a citation, more than likely, even though I said that I was traveling instead of driving.
Right. Yeah. And I believe that too, because they don't just stop people for nothing. They want to put you into the money-making machine.
Right.
But from what you've been telling me, the copyright notice that you had did exactly what it was intended to do.
Right. And I felt more secure when I did have the copyright notice with me. And when he pulled me over, I was thinking to myself, all right, here we go. Let's give it a try.
Yep. Exactly. Well, that's awesome. I want to thank you for sharing this information with the other YouTube people out there who are interested in this kind of stuff, and because I feel that when people start to realize that these things actually do work, maybe they'll take the time to learn more about commercial law processes and help themselves out of many other situations as well.
Right, I hope so as well. Whatever I can do to help anyone else out there that might be being intimidated or harassed by law enforcement.
Right.
I'm
So the idea is that this is the first step for anybody to start using these processes, and as we can see, everyone, from what Clint says here, so far it worked as far as he was concerned, and that's not to say that 100% of the time some cop's not going to jack you up, but you have weapons in your arsenal that it's you have some way of getting them off your back, and this is just one example of how this stuff works. And I'm going to be doing another video very soon, because I have another young guy that I've been helping with, and he was trying to get his copyright information put into the public record, and the clerks gave him quite a hassle. They even called in a couple of bailiffs or policemen or whatever to come and intimidate him so that he would just leave. But from the looks of things, he got to the place a little bit late on Friday, and he ended up talking to the head clerk, and by the time he got done showing him some of the documents that I gave him to go with this, with his trying to get this document in there, and one of them is actual a criminal complaint against the county clerk, and he showed them all those documents, and the head clerk actually told him, come in Monday and we'll take care of this. So once he's got this all done, I'm going to have him do like Clint here is doing, and you know, put out another video so that you guys can hear how his experience went using some of these processes. Okay, so you know, that's it for today, guys. You know, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.